I married my mother-in-law. May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave you birth be joyful. Proverbs 23:25. Something was seriously wrong with my mother-in-law. Her refrigerator was filled with rotten food. So was her veranda. She was very stubborn, selfish, and jealous. Her hearing was so poor that even normal conversation was difficult for her. Suspicious, I took her to a psychiatric clinic. The doctor had her get an MRI and then asked some questions. The result was severe dementia. Immediately, my mother-in-law moved into our house. I felt doomed. What should I do now? I had lived with my mother-in-law for 16 years before, and I never wanted to go back to those times again. All the unpleasant memories of living with her distressed me. I sat quietly in the chair, staring outside through our window. It was becoming as dark outside as it was in my mind. Then I heard Jesus' voice. Softly, yet clearly, he spoke to my conscience. Your mother-in-law lived through all those times to bear with such a mean and unwise daughter-in-law like you. She tried her best to be good to you. This is the chance for you to pay her back for her love. You like repaying kindness, don't you? I quietly replied, yes. From the very day she moved in, everything I had expected came true. Helping her take a bath, change clothes, and everything else felt extremely bothersome to me. My mother-in-law, who was now 89 years old, couldn't control her appetite. She often had a stomachache and went back and forth to the bathroom. And every single time, I had to help her walk to the bathroom arm in arm. One time, as I was walking arm in arm again with my mother-in-law, a melody rang in my mind. Dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. I tilted my head. What? A wedding march? That's when the voice of Jesus rang together with the melody in my mind. You have married your mother-in-law. You shall take good care of your wife with love. Again, I answered yes. Every time she moved, I tensed up. Almost all the time, she was dropping her spoon and chopsticks from the table. Whole soup bowl would often get turned over and its contents would spill all over the place. And whenever I was about to feel uncomfortable because of her, Jesus told me, your mother-in-law feels very sorry to you right now. So show her your smile and make her feel better. Then in a faint voice, I answered in my mind, yes. What was amazing was that every time I listened to the voice of Jesus and chose to obey him, he gave me patience. It was not the power, ability, or effort of man, but purely the power of God. I lack warm love. I'm rather cold and selfish. Now, how could I possibly be patient with my mother-in-law and be good to her? Countless times I wished and hoped that my mother-in-law would pass away as soon as possible. Yet, when I, the sinner of sinners, lifted up my head and called upon Jesus in order to hold back my anger, he helped me without fail. As I succeeded in controlling the anger in my mind once, twice, and more by the power of the Lord, a truly amazing thing happened. The condition of my mother-in-law began to get better. The ferocious look on her face softened and she was no longer depressed. Also, I began to feel the deep wounds in my heart begin to heal. My ill feelings towards her in the past had disappeared, and peace filled my heart. It was truly amazing and wonderful. Finally, my mother-in-law could walk and take a bath by herself. Her memory also improved so much that no one could believe she was suffering from severe dementia. Oh, how foolish and hopeless of a person I am! I cannot be safe even for a moment unless I completely rely on Jesus. I must call upon Jesus constantly. In other words, I must pray continuously. Otherwise, I end up going back to my cold and selfish self. I'd rather die than go back to the past. To call upon Jesus is not about reciting some invocation, but choosing Him while at the same time praying. To walk with the Lord means to fix one's mind and spirit onto Him. I did not believe in myself, but I depended on the Lord only. It is extremely important to ask Him and to recognize and understand His voice quickly and clearly, for obedience is possible by the power He grants us. I cannot do anything by myself. He is the only source of my power. Unless the power or the true heavenly love had come into my heart from Him, I would not have been able to maintain a sustainable marital relationship with my mother-in-law. Therefore, I am but a weak sinner who must pray at all times in order to keep myself from divorcing her.